What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
And today we got to go through probably the most popular, maybe the second most popular song on this album and debate it. Get ready, y'all. It's the Great Debaters. Alright, Amir, so here on the Great Debaters, we like to take different topics and examine them. We often do albums, we do different things. Today we're going to just do one song, the title track to N.W.A. Straight Outta Compton, and see who had the best verse on the song Straight Outta Compton and why. So of course there's three verses. Ice Cube starts it, then we go to MC Ren, and then Eazy-E brings it home. So for you, Amir, let's go through each verse, talk about what we liked, what we thought stood out, and then weigh in. Okay. So we'll start with Ice Cube, who kicks off the song. So for you, what's noteworthy about what Ice Cube did?
Is it fair to say the whole verse?
That's what you feel, man. You gotta say what you feel, man.
Honestly, this whole verse is a quotable. He just starts it off like anyone can say it. I don't even have to say it, but
right.
Straight Outta Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube from the gang called Brothers with Attitude, and I can just keep going and going and going. You'll be entertained. It's a whole quotable. I mean, Dr. Dre. Well, Dr. Dre has the opening line to the album technically, but I have this whole thing where I'm just like, is Ice Cube really this crazy? Because this is actually my first intro to Ice Cube. Okay. This was my first intro to him, and I was just under the assumption that this guy is actually like really crazy and painting Compton as this actual war zone, right. You know? That's what I got when first listening to that, and
I agree wholeheartedly. And I'd heard Ice Cube sprinkled into some of the earlier Ruthless stuff, but the thing about Straight Outta Compton, where he kicked it off and opening the album and all this other stuff, it was such a powerful way to start the song, to start the album, and to get into what then became the N.W.A. movement. After, for those who had heard N.W.A. and a Posse previously. This really kicked off N.W.A. for real, because it was obviously actually an album instead of a put together compilation in hindsight. So that being said, I thought the Ice Cube verse is impeccable and tremendous, which leads us nicely into MC Ren's verse, because MC Ren, I think, obviously is a phenomenal artist and very underrated, and I think what we see here is really a continuation of what Ice Cube was doing, and Ren, I think, did a little more, I guess, freestyling with it, or like wordplay-ishness, as opposed to Ice Cube, which was pure savagery. I thought
so savage.
Ren was a little more with the wordplay and different things. So what did you take from Ren's verse as the second verse?
The ruthless villain and underrated is a very fair term to describe MC Ren as well as his catalog. But he was also talking about a lot of killing too. You know, when I smoke, my rep gets bigger. I remember when I was young, I was like, why do cigarettes make his rep get bigger? But I was like, oh no, smoking. But
guess you figured it out.
Yeah, I did figure it out. And then he's also talking about killing people too. So although Ice Cube was a little more savage, I guess, with the flow and the things he was saying and bringing up Charles Manson, MC Ren is still, as the ruthless villain goes, he's still talking about killing people. And this is showing us that MC Ren is not someone to be messed with, you know. And he wasn't just secondhand Ice Cube. He was incorporating a lot of the writing, and his rhymes are also top-notch caliber.
Yeah, and then leads nicely into Eazy-E, which I always think Eazy-E gets a lot of unfair criticism, and always did, because I thought Easy Does It is a phenomenal album. I thought his performance on Straight Outta Compton, 100 Miles of Running, and the last N.W.A. album were phenomenal at every stage. So obviously he's working with Dre through all those projects and didn't after, but I think that people kind of diminish, for whatever reason, Eazy-E, and I think on Straight Outta Compton, that was just like, he was the embodiment of N.W.A. to me, as far as the look, the persona, the attitude, just everything about Eazy-E. I thought was phenomenal, and including this verse, because he was ending the song, but it was really the ending and leading into the album, which then became a continuation of this song. And I thought, you know, people could say what they want to say about Eazy-E, but I liked his flow, I liked his style, I liked how he presented himself, I liked his voice, I liked everything about Eazy-E, especially, you know, up through 91-ish in particular. So I thought it was great, man.
Yeah, no, and to kind of go on that, there would be obviously no N.W.A without Eazy-E, and he just, his whole image itself, to my opinion, when I think of N.W.A, I think of Eazy-E's just dress code.
Right.
You know, obviously I think of the, you know, the Raiders, the Kings, the Dodgers, all the gear as well, but I'm sure Eazy's the one that really helped
with the
solidify
looks,
that image and the curls and just everything. That guy was just like, when you think of N.W.A, even though he wasn't the writer of the group, he was still the image of the group. And his flow, to carry on what you said, is just so awesome with his high-pitched voice. He's like kind of a, and I know we've talked about this kind of off camera, but he's kind of like a mystery man. You know, you want to know. He's just so interesting. You want to know what Eazy-E's up to. Right. But I think when he just shows up in those interviews and like in the bathrobes and all that, but he is not to be messed with the flow, in my opinion, and his flow is just excellent on this verse and on this album as well.
Yeah, I agree. And then, you know, you have Dre with his little sprinkles on the ad-libs / intros and stuff, which is just a little sprinkle icing on the cake, as they say.
Important too. And
yeah.
Better than a chorus, you just got Dre introducing people, introducing the song, and then concluding the song, which also concluded the movie Straight Outta Compton.
It's a full circle moment, as Dana Dane would say. What's up, Dana? So, Amir, for you, who's the best verse on Straight Outta Compton, the song?
Can you take a guess?
I would say, if I had to imagine, it would be Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, and honestly, it's not even because he's my favorite rapper, or maybe it is now, but he honestly, to start off such a monumental album with just the lines Straight Outta Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube, that is just bonkers to me.
Right.
And just to keep talking and keeping up with that opening line, I think that's very hard to do, and Ice Cube really nailed it out of the park. But as me and Soren and I have mentioned, all these verses are top notch.
I agree. And I'll also agree that Ice Cube has the best verse because I do think the consistent savagery that he has throughout the verse is immaculate. And I also thought that he really brought, and the D.O.C and I have talked about this, but he brought like the soul to N.W.A, like the heart of it, the spirit of N.W.A, because he's such a phenomenal writer. And I think that just by the way the song was sequenced, by him being first, I think it just set the tone for what N.W.A was going to stand for and what their legacy is still to this day. And I just thought it was a phenomenal start to the album. And then, as we were discussing, Ren and Eazy really were like, you know, the same level of potency in a sense, but just in slightly different ways. And I think that it just showed like this is not a group that has one phenomenal rapper. It's a dude with some amazing personalities, amazing lyricists, amazing guys. And we saw with, you know, Ren having a platinum solo career, Eazy-E having a platinum solo career, and Eazy-E obviously with having all his proteges and success with Bone and others. You know, it wasn't just all about Ice Cube. It was like, this group is phenomenal. And MC Ren obviously had CPO and a successful solo career himself, getting shouted out by Outkast, and now they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, man. So anyway, that's what Amir and I think about Straight Outta Compton. We go with Ice Cube, but what do you guys think? Be sure to like, subscribe, share, hit us up in the comment section. Somebody will hit you back, whether it's one of the two of us or Unique Access, and we look forward to hearing from y'all. Hit us up, The Great Debaters. I'm Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
Check us out, y'all.
In the beginning, hip-hop was ruled by the East Coast. Then the West Coast rose to prominence thanks to gangster rap.
Straight Outta Compton,
motherfucker named Ice Cube. Hip hop changed the world. Gangster rap changed the narrative.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
And then changed the world again.
Cause I'll come and take your life away.
The history of gangster rap features unheard stories, unseen photos and documents, all with exclusive interviews from the founders and players who shaped gangster rap.
I think a real gangster rapper has to scare you a little bit.
The history of gangster rap written by veteran rap journalist Soren Baker. In stores October 2nd, 2018.
Yo, what up? This is DJ Quick. Be sure to pick up my homeboy Soren Baker's book, The History of Gangster Rap, if you really want to know what we do.